30 revolutions around the sun. Let's get it. It's my birthday today. And how am I celebrating? By being at a meditation retreat. Quite a sacred occasion. So if you've just seen me watch this video for the first time, my name is Sumet Chatterjee, known as Uncle M or Uncle Makara. The Makara is the Hindu sea monster. It helps the gods to travel where they need to go. That's kind of my mission in life, is to help people get to where they need to go in terms of their transformation, where they are now and where they want to be, especially in regards to their character optimization. That's my specialty, and I'm looking primarily at the flow state as one of the vehicles towards that long-term happiness and that character that just transcends space-time, which is the priest beast. So welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the many happy birthday wishes, okay? Appreciate it a lot. So this video is titled 30 Tips Before 30. My first piece of advice would be to take calculated risks, okay? Risk is a flow state trigger. And when we're younger, we can take a lot of great risks. Now, I'm not saying take stupid risks, okay? Don't take harmful and silly risks that are gonna land you in trouble. But I do remember throughout my time when I was younger in high school and college and so forth and university, I was taking a lot of risks. I was looking at myself like a performance art piece, constantly refining and shedding my skin like a naga over and over and over again, okay? And I've continued to do so and will continue to do so until I get to that polished quality within. You have to understand, this is the next point, you are a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time, okay? At the same time. Very, very important to note that. You haven't achieved mastery and then you're done. You just kind of sit back, okay? Let life happen to you instead of making it happen for you. You got to understand that mastery is a continuous process that brings us to number 4, become a student of life. Be a continuous learner on this journey. Don't just learn in school about parabolas and random shit. Learn what speaks to you and speaks to your heart and speaks to your soul. Okay? Education does not mean somebody yelling at you until you get the point. It comes from the word educere, which means to draw out or to lead out from within. So lead out the proper knowledge, which will help you execute and understand that self-improvement, okay, is one of the keys to success. Self-improvement is one of the keys to success. Constantly refining yourself, being that lifelong student, and being a student of life. This life is a giant classroom. And it's my belief, this is my belief, one of the true meanings of life is enlightenment. So that we can reach that state to help not only ourselves, but the planet, okay? Humanity. The next thing that I would say is balance your adaptation with your acceleration. It's really important that you keep accelerating, going on to the next thing, doing the next thing. But at the same time, you have to learn how to be like bamboo. Okay? It remains sturdy, but it lets the wind move it. Has this bendable, adaptable quality, this flexible quality towards life, where you can weave and dodge and overcome different challenges with this mentality of flow. To be like water, as Bruce Lee said, okay? So be like water. Don't take life too seriously or too playfully, okay? There's gotta be a balance of both. And that's when you reach maturity, and the midpoint of seriousness and playfulness, coming from my business coach Joe, between seriousness and playfulness is charisma. Okay, is charisma. So to be charismatic, you want to embody that quality. Not being a goofball, right? Being a dancing monkey. And you're not being a tight ass. You're not being rigid and stubborn and hard-headed and closed-minded either, right? It's the in-between. It's the liminal space that you want to work on. Okay, that's charisma. That's that energy flow, opening up okay? The next thing I'd say is just do the inner work, okay? I know a lot of coaches yell this at you, okay? However, it's really, really key, man. Really, really important. Doing the shadow work, doing the inner work, doing the self-reflection work, meditating, okay? All this kind of stuff. Very, very key. Very, very important. It's gonna keep your mind clean, okay, and pure, and not distracted and scattered and doing 1,000 different things at once. I remember when I was younger, I would do just 1,000 different things, you know, and focus on different things until I got some structure in my life. I figured out that, hey, flow state is where the overlaps lie. Find out where your overlaps lie. Where are the areas in your life where you feel like all of my interests are there, but they're guided by this one theme? This is what we also suggest on our path working of Primal Sutra, okay? We say that everybody has a theme to their spiritual journey, okay? Find out what yours is. Mine is flow state, yours could be something different. But find out what that is, and that will take you to many different places, locations, dimensions, not just in this world, but in other worlds, other realms, okay? And trust me when I say that, okay? I'm not just making that up. I've gone through many, many mystical experiences and satori in my life where I've recognized that, man, I recognize what's going on, okay? I know that this is the universe calling me to do something. With this reactive energy, understand that trigger is your treasure. Once you do the real healing work, the next thing I'd say is definitely heal, okay? Heal yourself, heal your traumas, heal your core wound. Your core wound is the number one thing that's stopping you from all other areas of life. All other areas of life. You think you're faltering in your relationships, in your health, in your wealth, whatever you're struggling in right now is partly due to your core wound, which is from 0 to 7 years old. Something that happened in childhood, okay, usually, that shocked you, triggered you, traumatized you, that made you behave in this way. It made your character take on this body positioning, this body posture. It even gave you the type of body that you have right now. That's wild to me. The next thing I'd say is learn about social dynamics and communication, okay? Learn how to communicate with the opposite gender. Learn how to communicate with your gender. Be the type of person who emanates. Overcome any little blocks or, you know, and social anxiety, all that kind of stuff. I used to have all of that, man, okay, in the past. It's horrible, horrible experience of just, you know, sitting and waiting in the lobby, not talking to anybody, not opening up, not reacting to anything. The next thing that I would say is stop listening to everything that your friends are telling you to do, okay? Don't just trust your friends blindly. Use discernment, use logic, and do not what you feel, okay? Don't just blindly trust your emotions and your feelings, but I would say, let your brain and your heart meet in a mind-heart coherence. A lot of your greatest decisions are gonna come from not just your intellect, okay? The intellect is good at discriminating things and, you know, categorizing things, and that's fine. But you also need that subtle awareness, that I am presence right here. This is your throne. So when you start overthinking and overanalyzing and all this kind of stuff, just bring it back down right here, okay? The next thing I've noticed is, and this is gonna sound very bizarre and maybe controversial or triggering to some people, but this is genuinely how I feel. When it comes down to, you know, seduction or attraction, you know, getting attention from the opposite sex, getting attention from women, when it comes down to that, there's one law which is very simple. You beat them at their own game. You give them a taste of their own medicine. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say that they're really into writing books and, you know, poetry and stuff like this, you become one of the greatest poets of all time. You, in her reality, just became a master. You get that? And she's the disciple, she's the student. You start to engage with that world that they're interested in, and you defeat them in it. You put down your flag on the realm that they're trying to get to. Let's say they're really into fitness and sports. You join the gym and you become the best at your gym. It's a very simple law, and not a lot of people, I mean, of course, not everything is just like, you know, you press a button and then something happens, right? You have to go through the process to actually build this life, build this love story, okay? Speak back to your inner critic. There's a self-defeatist voice in your head that's really annoying, okay? It's your voice of your ego. It's the voice of, you know, it's constantly thinking things. It's the monkey mind, right? It's going from branch to branch. It's constantly moving, trying to, you know, persuade you, okay, into different things. When you speak back to your inner critic and actually have a dialogue with it, when you personalize and externalize your inner critic like it's a character that you're speaking to, kind of like a spirit guide, okay? Very similar to a spirit guide, then you understand that that is actually your genie, right? The word genius comes from genie or jinn, okay? The understanding that we have these things called daemons, okay? The word demon comes from daemon. Your inner demons, okay? If they were personified, what would they be? What would they look like? And maybe you can learn something from them. All right, guys, for these next few ones, I'm gonna walk around a little bit, okay? Let's go. The next thing that I'd say is focus on your long-term happiness, okay? Not your short-term. There's gonna be a lot of times when you're younger to get that dopamine hit, okay, from a lot of different places. And maybe you're getting dopamine hits, okay? You're going out partying and you're doing all these different things, right? You're gonna get time where you're getting a lot of these endorphins and different things, but work on that long-term happiness, okay? That serotonin, that feeling of oneness, that feeling of connectedness through different practices that you're doing, and also different ways that you can actually tap into these different practices, okay? There's a term that I learned in positive psychology very early on, okay? To be eudaimonic is to be flourishing, okay? I have it tattooed actually on the side right here. So that is the long-term happiness. It's not the hedonic happiness, okay? The short, quick bursts of pleasure that you get, and then it starts to just dip out, right? It just starts to go away. It's not that long-term, like when you build a business and it starts working, or when you know, you have your own family, or when, you know, these little milestone or peak experiences in your life. You really want to build towards those, okay? You want to build towards the amazing peak experiences in your life rather than the short, you know, quick fixes and band-aid solutions. We live in a generation of instant gratification, so if you can delay your gratification, man, you're going to be so unstoppable, okay? The next thing that I would say is definitely consistency. You guys have seen that I'm posting a video every single day, and not a lot of people do that. Not a lot of YouTubers even have time for that, okay? They don't set aside time for what they're passionate about or what their purpose is. And I find that bizarre. I think that you've got to find ways to make yourself consistent, okay? And it comes from having this kind of relentless work ethic, okay? Now, I never really used to like this term hard work, because I always associated something that is hard work with difficult, and, you know, I never really understood that, you know, let's say a rock is also hard, okay? Which means it is solid. It's not a gas, it's not a liquid. It's solid work that you're doing. It's complete work that you're doing. You're not leaving things incomplete, which I used to do a lot of back in the day, right? So if you're beating yourself up for a lot of these different things, it's okay, okay? You're still young. You have the time to make mistakes. It's all good, okay? Now, maybe you're even older watching. Maybe you're in your 40s or 50s. I'd love to know, you know, if any of these ring true or resonate with you in the comments. And even if you're younger, let me definitely know if some of this stuff really hits your sweet spot, okay, your soul spot. But yeah, let's continue with this topic. It was in my early 20s that I was really experimenting with, gamma waves and alpha waves and brainwave frequencies and things like this. And it really helped my anxiety during that time. I remember I would get a lot of panic attacks in the past. Meditation has been a life changer for me, okay? Learning how to meditate. My father, of course, teaches meditation, and I'm at a meditation retreat. Very, very powerful as a skill set to learn meditation, okay? And you guys have seen how I've matured on this channel, how, my character is being refined slowly. You see that, there's a difference. There's a difference in my beingness. There's a difference in my charisma. There's a difference in my character, okay? So that rapid transformation happened through what? Resilience. The ability to move forward into the unknown, okay? With courage, with confidence, with bravery. Those are things that you have to teach yourself, okay? Using subliminals would be another one, okay? Subliminal messages are fantastic, guys. If you are currently not using subliminals and you don't understand the power of your subconscious mind, you need to listen, okay? You need to start listening regularly, not just once or twice. I've done this for years, guys, okay? I've reprogrammed myself for years, okay? Now some people will be like, but why are you working so hard on yourself? Don't you feel like you're good enough? Don't you? You're gonna have all of these mediocre people, right, come along and sway you from your momentum. So don't let other people come along and do that, okay? Your momentum is determined by you, okay? By nobody else. Your momentum is determined by you. So you have got to say that in this moment, I choose momentum. And keep spiraling upwards. This is one of the things that really helped me in life, right? Upward spiral gang. Some of you guys know this story. When I was very, very depressed, very, very low, I told myself, upwards spiral gang, okay? As that dog takes a nice pee break over there, right? Splash Life, okay? Splash Life. My original brand name was called That Splash Life, okay? Think about that. What does that mean? That splash life is symbolic of me being afraid of the water. Okay, I had a drowning incident when I was super young. Okay, like in kindergarten, I got into like this big pool and then I was drowning and then this kid saved me or whatever. But I remember that would just be one of the things. I'd just be afraid, like tippy-toe around the water, right? Whereas I just taught myself, just go in, just dive in, just splash in the water, just go in the water. The water is your friend. You are the flow state master, right? Why should I be afraid of water? You're 70% of it. The world is more than 70% of it, as within, so without, right? So it's like, man, why am I gonna hide from this one thing that is my nature, right? And I'm a Scorpio, water sign, bro. Am I really gonna let that little trauma like make me smaller, or am I gonna be like Batman? And you guys know, if you've read my book, Batman was the greatest example because he was afraid of bats, but then he wore the mask as a moniker. I don't know what keeps going on over there, guys, by the way. It's like explosions or something. But I hope it's nothing bad, okay? I'm gonna double check just after this video, but that's wild to me. Man, my relationships have been all over the place, to be honest with you. However, I've enjoyed it because it's been my framework this time. After a lot of failed attempts at relationships, I've understood that when I am coming from that leadership position and I'm really determined to, creating something of myself, but also, of course, taking the other person into account. You don't just want to, make it entirely about your framework, because then it becomes almost like you have kind of like a checklist, that you're going through constantly. Look for the positive emotion that you want to feel around that other person. I had to learn this the hard way because I was, growing up in many different countries, Thailand, Switzerland, I was in Thailand for high school, right? And before that, in middle school, I was in Switzerland. And then I was in, then I went to Vermont for college, okay, out of all places. So, and then a year in London, right? So all of these experiences that I've had growing up and learning from, you know, different walks of life, different people from other cultures and countries, I definitely say, I know I was forced to travel, but if I were to choose, I would actually travel way more, okay? I would travel way more. Explore the world, see, like, go outside of your city, okay? Some of you are saying, oh, that's not possible, this or that. Just try it, okay? You might be surprised what you might find. A lot of us, we keep ourselves in our comfort zones, in our little boxes, not knowing how other people are living out there. It gives you perspective, man. One of my greatest strengths of all time is perspective. Being able to perceive things in a unique way from different angles. The understanding that I can zoom in and zoom out, right? My name is Zoom, by the way. Well, I converted it into Zoom in Costa Rica after Costa Rica trip because, well, I always had this Aussie bloke, okay? Call me Zoomed. Hey, Zoomed, how's it going? Doing great, okay? So I always had this guy call me Zoomed. I always liked that. That was kind of one of the coolest nicknames I think I've ever received. I had a lot of people giving me random nicknames. Sumzors was another one, like a Sumosaurus, right? And the kind of, some kind of a dragon or like a dinosaur type of character, right? Like, which is close to the Makara, so I appreciated that as well. If you can, join something creative, join something artistic. It's gonna free up your right brain, okay? A lot of the times, you know, especially Indian kids, you know, they're forced to venture into the world of IT, okay? Or doctor, or lawyer, or something that will make me a lot of money, okay? But not looking at the completely disregarding the fact that you're gonna enjoy that subject, right? Like, what is something that you deeply resonate with, right? So that's the thing. Don't go with the stereotypical things that your culture provides you. Be the walking stereotype glitch. Okay? I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. This is key. This is really powerful. This is how I've been able to transcend this negative Indian stereotypes. You know, my entire life, you know, I've had people making racist comments and so forth. But again, that's like, you know, growing up and so forth. Like, you know, kids will say anything. Kids say the darndest things, as you know, right? It's not their fault. You know, it's just like, it's miseducation. It's just ignorance, right? And ignorance is the root cause of all of suffering. I think it's so important. I think self-education is so important. Autodidactism, okay? You teaching yourself is so key and so important, man. Not a lot of people teach themselves, right? We want the teacher to teach us, but the teacher and the taught create the teaching together, okay? I am not teaching you right now. You are consciousness teaching yourself through me, through this video, YouTube video right now. Because I'm tapped into that presence, you're also tapped into that source presence, that consciousness. So all other things you're seeing in your life are all projections of the source, okay? They're source projections. So start to really embody and understand that. The next thing I'd definitely say is create resourcefulness, okay? You could be super creative and get yourself out of any trouble, any situation with resourcefulness by your side. This is a skill of a high performer, of a peak performer, okay? Of a peak performance shaman, as we like to call it, okay? So really consider that. So self-talk and frame control are two of the most important things that I definitely say for you, okay, in your life. Frame control is having a strong sense of reality, knowing who you are, knowing what you're about, okay? And self-talk is that, like I said, that voice in the head. How are you speaking to yourself? Are you speaking to yourself in a kind way, in a mean way? You know, Einstein said that the biggest difference of success in life is whether you believe this is a hostile world or a friendly universe. okay? Einstein said, is this a hostile universe for you or a friendly universe? Okay? You really have to have that positive perspective of life to really make it and excel and start improving yourself. The next thing I'd say is work on your own masculinity. Start younger. Start going to the gym, having some physical discipline younger. Okay, I wish I would have started earlier on this stuff. It was only until my later years that I started to understand I need my body on my side as a shaman. I can't keep, using my crown chakra as an escape, right? I can't just keep floating up there all the time, thinking that it's going to solve all my situations. I used to be one of the major escapists of life, But nowadays, I feel like I'm really leaning into my presence, really leaning into allowing and accepting things. So really start this attitude from your youth. It's going to help you so much, man, once you start allowing and appreciating, having gratitude for life. Gratitude is a major key alert, okay, for happiness. It's so key that I think a lot of people just push it to the side. Yeah, grateful for what though, That I got up another day, that I'm alive. Work on your golden shadow. Work on the fear of your own success, the Jonah complex, okay? Start to lean into being in the spotlight, being the center of attention, being okay with being seen, being okay talking to a complete stranger, opening up to them. This kind of stuff is really key and really important. The next thing is seek mentorship, seek coaching, seek help, seek counseling. Don't think that you're a lone wolf doing it all by yourself, okay? It's not going to serve you. It's going to serve you for a little while, okay? I've tried doing it all by myself. But you know what's helped me skip years of evolution? Hiring a mentor, hiring a coach, hiring somebody that's helped me. And yeah, I've hired coaches that haven't helped me either, right? But you got to take that risk. You got to take that leap of faith, man, because it's the work that you do, not just the coach. The coach is just a signpost giving you more implementation velocity, right? You got to put in the work and show commitment on your life, because this is your life. A shaman or a coach is just guiding you by the hand, the Sherpa up the mountain, but it doesn't mean he's gonna, give you a piggyback ride up that mountain, okay? So don't expect handouts. The universe is here to co-create with you. It's not there to give you all these gifts and blessings out of the blue. When you decide, the universe decides with you. God decides with you, alongside you, okay? And lastly, everything serves the seduction. Everything is your teacher, okay? Anything can be, these trees are teaching me right now, okay? By remaining stable, okay? By being grounded. I'm learning from these flowers, these birds chirping, these butterflies. I'm learning from all of them. I'm learning from nature. I'm not just learning from some textbook from 3rd grade. No, okay? I'm learning from life. I'm learning from experience, okay? So I don't know if I got to 30. Hopefully I did, okay? But let's get it today. Upward Spiral Gang, thank you for the happy birthday wishes once again. May we never be the same again. We're all gonna make it. See you on the other side. Us.